with me on a trip to Nintendo New York just before Pokémon Day. On my way home the other day, I stopped by Nintendo New York to see what they had in stock. It is currently winter in New York City, and it is extremely cold outside, so it's difficult to walk around for long periods of time out in the weather, so stopping into Nintendo New York is something that I like to do when I'm up here. As a lifelong New Yorker, I always like to tell people to visit the store after the holidays because there are typically less people in the store because there are less tourists in the area. It's less crowded. However, you might want to wait until like February because January the stock is usually pretty empty just due to the fact that the holidays are over and all that. But anyway, the footage that you're watching right now was from February 18th, 2025, and as you can see, the crowds weren't too bad and they had plenty of stock. If you're visiting Manhattan and you have young kids, this is a great place to take them. In fact, my family used to take me here all the time when I was young. One of my favorite things about Nintendo New York is that they have this giant Bowser statue right in the back, so make sure that when you're visiting you don't miss it. It's kind of hard to miss though. On days when it's very crowded, you might have to wait a moment to take a picture with Bowser, but you shouldn't have to wait that long because the turnover rate is pretty fast. If you're a fan of the Super Mario Bros. Series, there is merch for pretty much every one of the main characters. And if you pay close attention, you can find these characters hidden throughout the store. There is a large variety of different kinds of t-shirts and toys regarding these characters on the bottom floor. On the first floor, you can mainly find exclusive t-shirts, play sets, a lot of stuff regarding the Super Mario Brothers. You can even find games and sometimes amiibos. They also have a small section on the very first floor where you can enter your My Nintendo QR code to receive some platinum points. You also used to be able to get gold points by purchasing things in the store, but that has since been discontinued very recently. But what you may not know is that this store actually used to be called Nintendo World, and before that, it was actually a Pokémon Center store. Several years ago, I co-wrote a historical website for the Pokémon Center New York store, so I always enjoy visiting the top floor to see what kinds of Pokémon goods they have these days. Back in the day, the Pokémon Center extended not just the top floor, but it was this entire bottom floor as well. This back area here used to have an entire wall of Tomy figurines and a giant Pokédex that you could play with. And now, 20 years after the store was converted to Nintendo World, this back wall has a lot of Nintendo Switch games and Mario merchandise. In case you're wondering why the store is not called Nintendo World anymore, it was converted to Nintendo New York several years back and the color scheme was changed from blue to red. Don't worry though, if you're nostalgic for Pokemon, all you have to do is visit the top floor. If you're a huge fan of Pokemon like I am, you absolutely have to get a Liberty Pikachu plush. They are one of, if not the best-selling item at Nintendo New York. Although many people mistake this for an exclusive plush, it was actually released worldwide as part of the Pikachu Around the World series many years ago. However, if you would like to get this plush today, you can only get it at Nintendo New York, nowhere else. Today, this is what's left of the Pokémon Center New York store. It's a small section in the back area of the second floor that has a lot of Pokémon themed panels, as well as a really cute display with Pokeballs. At the time of recording, it is themed around the games Pokémon Scarlet and Violet. The store also has a whole lot of different Pokémon figures on display currently. Although this store no longer carries Pokédolls or the Tomy Pokemon figures that it once did when it was Pokémon Center New York, it does have some really cute items from the modern era of Pokemon that I think you'll enjoy. My favorite items to find here are the Pokemon Sitting Cuties plushies. I think if I saw these when I was a kid, back when the store was still Nintendo World, I would have been very excited. Another thing I should add is that the turnover rate for Pokemon merchandise is very fast at this store, so if there's something that you're interested in, you probably won't find it again when you come back. Also, make sure to visit Pikachu, like the Pikachu statue right in the front of the Pokemon area. It's super cute. If you're a fan of other Nintendo IPs, they got that as well. I always love this Mario statue up top because if you walk to the bottom of the stairs, you'll see Luigi and Toad. In the Pokemon Center New York days, this area used to have animatronic Pokemon characters. But today it's Mario themed, so we have Toad, Luigi, Bowser as we saw before, and of course Mario on the top pole. Today the only remaining pieces of the Pokémon Center New York store are the Pokeball door handles. The Nintendo New York store is so much fun to visit, so if you're in the area, definitely come by. If you made it to the end, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on Pokémon Day.